Alright guys, so the big item on my Christmas list this year was the GoPro Hero 4 Black Edition, and that's what I have here. So obviously I was fortunate enough to get that for Christmas. So I'm going to start opening the package here. There's a little pull tab on the side. Looks like we just pull that. Alright, so that tab, there's actually one on the other side as well. And that lets us slide off this bottom sheath here. By the way, this has all the information about the camera on it, if you were so curious. Most of the stuff you could read about online if it matters to you, but there's the basics. Of course, you could pause at any time if you wanted to see any of that. And then here on the package, we have a piece of tape holding the plastic top onto the accessory pack down here. Packaging seems kind of over-engineered, I guess. It's not too bad of a thing though, just for their presentation, obviously. So here's the camera. This slides off once you get that tape undone, obviously. And so here you can see the camera's actually clipped into this mount here, and I believe to remove it we just slide that on out like that. And then this tab here says to remove. I think that's actually screwed in there, so let's unscrew this. This is how the GoPro mounting system works, if you weren't aware. They've got all these screws, and then you can take them in and out and add the little parts in as you choose. So it looks like that little remove, yep, it's just right there on the side. And so I think what that was in there for is just to keep the camera from tilting while it's in the packaging. So we'll leave that apart for now so I can show you guys how some of these accessories work later. Now we pop this package open, and this plastic base here with this shoe mount, apparently it can actually be used for a lot of DIY mounting solutions, just from what I've heard on other videos, so you might want to hang on to this piece here, and then you can use that to create some mounts of your own. Now opening up the package here, we see getting started with GoPro, and they tell you to go to this website where you can create your GoPro account and get the GoPro app, download the GoPro software, and update the firmware on your camera. So you might actually want to listen to that. And then buried under that is all of your other documentation and stuff. There's a quick start guide right there, some GoPro stickers, and safety information, and more safety information. And then so we open up these tabs down here. Looks like we gotta fold them like that, and it folds out. And we'll just dump the contents of this right out here. That looks to be everything. So here you have an adjustable arm, as you can see there. So there's a short piece and a long piece, and looks like both of them change the direction of these interlocking pins here. And so you can just be pretty creative with all these different little pieces. There are some where the slots don't change direction and some that do, and they're short and long, so using all of these you can make your own mounting solution for exactly whatever application you need. So in that little bag you have two adhesive mounts here. One is a one of these is a flat surface, as you can see there, and one is a curved surface in both directions, though it's more curved in that direction, as you can see. And these will clip in to this mount that was initially clipped onto the packaging over there. And so those just slide in like that, as you can see, and then you just slide them on out. And then here you have, this is a vibration and rattle preventer, basically. And how that works is you're going to clip your shoe mount into whatever you're using here, and then this piece is just going to slide in right behind it. So let's get that up nice and close. That's just going to slide in there, and it's a real tight fit, but that's what it's made to do. You slide that in there, and it stops this from going anywhere or vibrating against plastic, you know. And then this little loop here is just a thread into there when you actually mount the camera to prevent you from losing this piece. And then continuing through the accessories here, you have what's called the J mount, because there you can see it looks kind of like a J. If there was a top on here, then, you know, there's a J. And this is the same as this, but obviously with the curve on it. And same thing, this will just slip in like that. I'm still new to this whole mounting system, so I'll get used to it eventually, but that just slides on in and pinch it and it'll pop on out. And then you've got one more of these little the bolt here, which is obviously going to correspond to the nut. You can just thread that in anywhere you need. Here's your USB charging cable, and you can also use this to sync the data off the camera if you want. You can also just take out your SD card, of course, and plug it into your computer, but if you wanted to leave it in, this will work for transferring data as well as charging the battery. So there's that. Doesn't look to be too long. I'm not even going to bother unwrapping that right this moment. Here's your battery. Whoop. So here's that battery. Kind of fell out of the packaging there. So as you can see, it is a 3.8 volt, 1160 milliamp hour battery. And I'll show you guys how this inserts in just a minute. Basically this clips onto the contacts. It's a little bit different than some other batteries, so we'll take a look at that. And then lastly, here is a back housing with a cutout here. This is cut out, and so I'm not honestly sure what this is useful for on this camera, but on the Hero 4 Silver Edition there is a touchscreen on the back, and that allows you to touch the touchscreen, obviously. But on this, I'm not really sure what purpose that serves. But, I mean, they include it, so you got it at least. So now taking a look at the camera here, you can see it's in its ruggedized waterproof housing. And to get it out, we lift up on that tab there, and it goes like that. And the back door hinges open here. And then with this back door hinged open, we can just drop the camera out. And here we've got ourselves a good look at the camera itself. And this thing is very tiny. If you guys have ever seen a GoPro before, you know that they're tiny. And so taking a look at the front of the device here, they have changed the indicator lights, so now they are two little bars here instead of having a big red dot here and on the side. So that's kind of nice. You got your power and mode button right here. And obviously your lens on top. We have our record button and what I believe is probably an indicator light that'll blink when you are recording. And here's a little wrench, which I assume is to do with your settings. And then this right here and this right here are where you can clip on what GoPro calls a backpack, which this is the actual connector port and that's just a clip. And that will either allow you to put a screen on here or add a battery backpack, and that will extend the battery life of this, obviously. So now taking a look here at the bottom, I'm not sure if that is going to be another indicator light. Doesn't quite appear to be, but we'll see. And then here's your battery pack. And so you just kind of press down in this tab and slide it outwards, and it opens up. And we'll put in our battery here. So see those contacts down there? You just got to line those up with these contacts right here, like so. And you just give it a nice press on in and slide the door shut. And then if we move from the battery compartment on over here, we see this cover right here. Just pop that off, and it does pop all the way off. There is no little like hinge or anything, so you just take that all the way off. And that reveals where you put in your micro SD card, as well as where you can plug in that USB cable or a micro HDMI cable to output to a TV, for instance. So for SD cards, you're going to want obviously a micro SD, at least UHS 1. From my research, a UHS 1 should be fine, but just to be on the safe side, I did go ahead and pick up the UHS 3 right there. And SanDisk calls theirs the Extreme. It's the UHS 3 micro SD card. I went with 64 gigs, so I'll have plenty of recording capacity there. But like I said, from my research, the UHS 1 card should be fine, but everybody recommended the UHS 3 card, so I decided to pick that up instead. So basically that's just going to pop in, I'm pretty sure, with the text facing forward there. Just give it a nice press down and it clicks into place, nice and flush. And then you can go ahead and pop back on your panel if you choose to, which I'm going to so I don't lose it. And now we can press the power button on the front here and give it our first boot. So there you go, beeps 3 times when you start it up. So you've got a whole bunch of settings in there. I'm just going to exit that and do that off camera another time. But as you can see with the current settings here, I believe it's telling us that we can record for 4 hours and 5 minutes with the current video settings. But we have 1 bar of battery, so we're obviously not going to get that much record time if I were to just press record and let it sit. So they do ship it with a little bit of battery power, but you're still going to need to charge it up before you do anything too serious with it. And I was just reading the back here, and it says for the best sound in high wind, if you're going less than 100 miles an hour, the non-waterproof skeleton door will give you a better sound, and if you're going over 100 miles an hour, use the waterproof door. So that means if you're going less than 100, they want you to use this one here that has the big cutout in the middle, because apparently that'll give you better sound. And if you're going over 100, you're going to want the one that comes included on here. Now, obviously, don't follow that. If it's like raining or something, you're going to want the waterproof housing. Otherwise, you'll probably ruin your camera, but you know. I'm just going to shut it down for now because I'm not actually using it. Whoop. So you got to hold it for quite a while and then it'll shut down for you. Somehow I already got the lens all greasy there, so I'll have to give that a wipe down later. So why I actually got this camera is mainly for moto vlogging, as well as for the 4K ability in it, just for recording my usual videos, you know. That'll be nice to have as a nice main angle, and then I can use the camera that I'm recording this with right now as a secondary angle at 1080p and splice that in with the 4K footage I can get off here, as well as, like I said, obviously for my moto vlogging that I plan to start doing. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you in this video, so hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, please do click the like button, as that does help me out. Also, leave me a comment about anything that I did well at or anything that I could improve. And if you would like to see more of my videos, then please do click the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.